small crowd of perhaps 30 witnesses cleared to form a wide circle around her, leaving her standing alone, exposed in their midst. They were unnervingly silent, as was the way of their kind, but Rosalind had been admonished not to speak until spoken to, so she waited as silently as they did, keeping her shoulders back, her chin high. She had been declared worthy. She clung to that and hoped her looks reflected it. She'd brushed her long, straight hair so that it gleamed like spun gold as it fell past her shoulders, and she'd left her delicate features unpainted, the way Jeremy preferred. After tonight, Rosalind thought, her eyes flickering over several of the dazzlingly beautiful women in attendance, she'd never need cosmetics again anyway. Vampiric beauty was incomparable and eternal. A soft murmur ran through the crowd then, and suddenly he was there, stepping into the circle with her. Tall, sandy-haired, boyishly handsome Jeremy. He stepped forward to take her hands in his, and Rosalind shivered, as she always did, at the first touch of that cool skin on hers. But the warmth in his eyes, glowing deep blue with a light all their own, more than compensated. He leaned in close, and she could smell the faint musk of his skin. "Ready?" he asked softly, his warm breath fanning her ear. She nodded. "Always." He smiled, and the light caught the sharp points of his incisors, gleaming white between deep red lips. He looked away for a moment, and between one blink and the next, they were joined by a third person in the circle, a tall, imposing man who stood ramrod straight in a severe black suit. His expression was solemn, and when he spoke, his voice rippled through the air with a power that signified great age, though he appeared no older than 40. This was the master of the ceremony, one of Arsinoe's trusted emissaries sent to oversee and verify the ancient ritual. His first question was directed at Jeremy. "By what name are you called, supplicant?" Jeremy's response was immediate and full of pride. "I am Jeremy Rothburn of the Ptolemy." "And what do you ask of us on this full moon's night?" "I ask to bring this woman Rosalind DeVore into the sacred house of Ptolemy, to bind her to us with the dark gift, and to share with her life eternal." The emissary's pale eyes shifted to her. "And you, Rosalind DeVore, what do you request of the house of Ptolemy?" For one heart-stopping instant, she feared that she'd forgotten the words, but then they were there for her, rolling easily from her tongue. "I ask to join this house, to share in the glorious lineage of Sekhmet the lioness, the warrior goddess, of Arsinoe, the eternal pharaoh, and of the vampire dynasties. I ask to give of my blood, my life, to Jeremy Rothburn of the Ptolemy, and for his blood, his life, to be shared in return." Jeremy squeezed her hands reassuringly as the master of ceremonies gave a solemn nod, acknowledging her request. Then he looked to the assembly. His voice rose, a powerful and compelling clarion call. "All you gathered, keepers of the dark flame, honored bearers of the blood of the goddess, you have heard the petition. What say you?" The resounding "aye" had Rosalind's heart soaring. This was it. She'd been accepted. There was only one thing left, though the final barrier was the most frightening of all, because she would see death before they were through, if only to turn away from it forever. The emissary actually managed a ghost of a smile when he turned his attention back to Jeremy. "Make her yours. Make her ours." He stepped back then, fading away into the crowd until it was once again only the two of them in the circle. Rosalind looked at her lover, feeling the importance of the moment, knowing she was drawing her final breaths as a mortal being. Jeremy undid her robe with a flick of his wrist, leaving it to slide from her shoulders and pool at her feet. Then she was naked before him, before all of them, terribly, wonderfully exposed. His heart was in his eyes when he stepped forward, and Rosalind quickly forgot about the crowd. There were only the two of them there, really, and all their eternity yet before them. His cool hand